Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Big Finish fans. Once again, we are doing a top 5 of 2022 revisited. There's been a lot of Big Finish release since our last one in July, and we thought, let's do another one because it's fun. Once again, I'm joined with Luke.
Yes, hello everyone. The first one went down quite well, didn't it? I suppose.
Yes.
I think everyone loves a good top five, seeing which one comes out on top. The anticipation of seeing whether it's your favorite or not, and so it'll be good to just go back and revisit really, because Big Finish comes out with so much. It's like 4 box sets a month, and so we've got like an extra 12 really. So this top 5 could have changed entirely since we last did it at the end of June.
Well, let's hope so.
And it's just it's a way to tide us over before we do another huge tier list for the whole year at the end of 2022. Because again, that went down very well, our 2021 tier list. So
yeah, that'll probably be the first one of 2023, I guess.
And it's fun for us to see where we're both at in terms of the year, because we do talk both on stream and off stream about, what we're vibing with, what we're enjoying, what we're enjoying less. And so, but nevertheless, we don't know what our top fives are. We have some ideas perhaps, but yeah, there's still maybe some surprises in there like there were last time. So be interesting to see what's changed, whether some stuff has fallen into the same slot or whether none of our things match up this time. Because I think we had at least one thing in the same slot last time, or certainly
I think we had 2 matching. I think we had 2.
Yeah, I mean, should we have a look back at what? I mean, do you remember yours from last time?
Yeah, I remember mine.
Yeah. Do you want to go for your 5th place then from last time? So this is as of June.
Mine was the Outlaws at number 5.
At number 5, I put Shell Shock from the 4th Doctor Adventures Volume 2, because that one is also sold separately. So we're sort of able to cheat a bit there, because there's a lot of good individual stories in box sets, but they don't quite, the rest of the box set doesn't quite live up to them. So often they won't crack the top 5. But luckily for 4th Doctor Adventures, because most of those are sold separately as a download only for now, that is sort of a product in itself. And so we could get away with including that release on its own. So yeah, Shell Shock was my 4th place, my 5th place, sorry. And your 4th place was?
I think mine was Back to Earth.
Mine was also Back to Earth.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah.
And that's sort of one that we both really liked, Station to Station.
Yes.
And what was the other one by Tim Foley? Auld Lang Syne. That was a really good one. And then it was just False Dimitri, the middle story of the set, that let that one down for us, didn't let it go any higher on the list. Because otherwise, like we say, if we could do individual stories, Station to Station would be quite near the top.
Yeah, it would definitely crack the top 3.
Hello, stylish person in the chat.
Hello.
So yeah, number 3 now.
Mine was Shell Shocked.
There we go. So that was one you rated more highly than me, but top 5 still. So
yeah,
I did rate it very highly too. So, but yeah, I mean, I wonder if that one will stay on yours, because at 5th place, it's looking a bit precarious on mine.
Yeah.
But for me, it was another 4th Doctor adventure, The Ravencliff Witch, in 3rd place. And then
that's a very good one as well. Very good one.
Yeah. And I remember our 1st and 2nd places were the opposite way round for us. So
yes,
my
number 2 was the Annihilators.
Annihilators was my number 1, meanwhile, and my number 2 was your number 1, which was
Odd Friends.
There we go.
Which was great.
So February, strong month for the year.
So far, yeah.
I wonder if July, August, or September has beaten that. I mean, I think if it's any of them, it's September.
Yeah. September's probably had the most, I'd say.
Yeah.
And it's probably how releases we were all looking forward to, like 10th Doctor Classic Companions, Benny, the Unbound stuff, to see how that concludes. Because we've said before that most of the releases sort of tend to being the balance on how the second box set delivers, much like Autumn Infinity, a release
that
we
definitely
praised highly.
that definitely improved 40 as a whole for us, didn't it?
Yeah,
How
seeing
that
how
all
that
came
all
together at the end.
resolves.
I mean, sometimes the opposite's true as well, isn't it? You could have a really strong opener box set, and then other ones down the line sort of knock it a bit, and you're left feeling disappointed by it as a whole because it didn't quite deliver on where it was set up. No examples come to mind at the moment, no. But I know that that's certainly been the case for at least one Big Finish series I've listened to.
I'm trying to think actually on the top of my head from like this year's stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. No. This year it's hard to say though because there's
Yeah.
not really that many series now.
I mean, I'd say Sixth Doctor improved second box set.
Yeah,
Well,
second box set helped that. Yeah, Silence Person says, if there's no second Doctor, we riot. We shall see.
We shall see indeed. Because that was one of the most anticipated ones for us. We'll see if it did crack the top 5.
But I suppose before we dive into the top 5 itself, the updated version, how have you been? It's been 2 weeks since we've been on stream. We've been talking since then, but certainly live with the viewers. Let's have a little life update before we get into the main topic.
Yeah, life's been busy working. Done some exciting things like seeing our boy George Ezra live. That was very cool. That was highlight for me of the year. It was great. That's mainly been me binge watching some of the new stuff. What's come out, like House of Dragon. Started Rings of Power.
How's that so far?
It's trying to be a Game of Thrones.
And
I think it takes a while for it to get going, but now I think it's found its gear and it's starting to ramp up now. So it's all
how many
good.
episodes in is that? I think that's 10 total, isn't it?
I think the 6th one come out today. And then of course Andor's been like the big thing.
I'm loving Andor.
Andor's really good at the minute. It was a good episode this week.
It's a shame it seems to be making a bit less of a splash compared to other Star Wars shows, but I'll say that the craftsmanship that goes into this show is second to none. I think
it doesn't feel like a Disney show.
No, it doesn't at all. And I think that's one of the strengths of it, really, isn't it? That you have a lot more moral ambiguity in there.
It feels very sort of domestic for Star Wars.
I think I mentioned to you the other night, it feels like if Star Wars was written by Russell T Davies, only less gay, sadly.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really good stuff.
It's good just getting to see the little things have such focus and impact on the characters. Because oftentimes it's stuff that's skipped over in Star Wars, but here it's taking these little things and making them feel huge. And the world building is spectacular because it's starting off small. And you can see with episode 4 in particular, as we branch out to Coruscant, that we are expanding. But it's done naturally, isn't it? It's like through characters meeting each other, then that character will go off and meet someone else. And then there'll be a new player in the story like Mon Mothma is. And it's so good. I'm loving it. I can't wait to see where it goes. It's sort of like doing 3-part arcs, isn't it? So
yeah.
But and I mean, if you look at it on paper, not much happens in some episodes, but it just feels like there's so much there because of the characters and because it's building so that when stuff does happen, it has so much more of an impact.
I think is it 12 episodes, isn't it? So I guess it's got a chance to be like that nice or long burner story.
And
like when episode 4 ended, I was like, no, you can't end it there. I wanna know what happens now. It's getting all exciting.
You could see why they did 3 episodes at once to start it off. Because
you needed it.
That's like a whole story arc there. And also it shows you like what the show's going to be like as a format. Because I think with things like Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan, it's often about instant gratification. This is more savor your food and it'll taste all the better for it in the end.
Well, Andor doesn't really have here's a shiny reference, here's a shiny thing, you know.
Yeah. So not as obvious stuff, is it? It's more deep cut things in the background.
Yeah,
And I
like
think,
is it Star Killer's armor, stuff like that?
yeah, stuff, like I think Luthen's shop is a whole treasure trove of Easter eggs there because they could just grab so many different props and put them up. I think even some Indiana Jones stuff has slipped in that
Yeah,
shop.
the whip. Yeah, the whip's
Yeah,
there.
and carbonite.
Yeah, mental.
So yeah, certainly. It's having fun with the background details, isn't it? I mean, Scarif got a name drop. That always sends goosebumps, doesn't it,
It's
Scarif?
such a good planet name, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's something special as well as the location because we know how important it is and how secretive it is. It just, it hits right when you hear the word Scarif. It sounds like we're easily pleased, but Andor, it delivers a lot. It really does. So, yeah, I suppose enough Star Wars. Should we talk about Big Finish now?
Yes, let's talk about some Big Finish. So, I guess should we do a sort of where we're at with Big Finish at the minute?
Yeah, so a Big Finish check-in.
Yeah, I've got the same banner from last time. It still can be used roughly.
Yeah.
So yeah, how are you finding Big Finish now?
I think it's going pretty well at the moment now that we're seeing more of the grander picture of the relaunch with 40 being completed, for example. That was one where it was sort of like put a pin in that, come back to that after 42. But now I think as a whole, the Fifth Doctor's had quite a good year thanks to that. Even though he's only had the 2 box sets, sadly. I do wish we got more from the Fifth Doctor this year. But
It still feels like a bonus release.
Yeah,
like a special one.
So it'd be interesting to see where things go with him next year as we start to get more regular content from the Fifth Doctor, I suppose, rather than the celebratory kinds. But yeah, certainly Fifth Doctor's been a highlight. I think Sixth Doctor, his position's improved since the release of Purity Undreamed. I think now that you can see what they're doing with Hebe, where that arc is maybe going, and the fact that there is an arc now that we know of, because there wasn't much there in Waterworlds.
I think Waterworld, you just get bogged down and fatigued by, another planet. What involves water? Great.
Yeah, I think those last 2 stories in that set sort of felt a bit too samey. Sort of felt like you needed a fresher environment. And they're long as well, aren't they? Those
Yeah, they are chunky hour
though,
stories.
Yeah, they're only 2-parters, but yeah, they do drag some of them. But yeah, certainly Purity Undreamed, I think, is where it started to hit its stride a bit more.
See, I'd have to disagree there.
You're still not quite as keen on the Sixth Doctor at the moment.
No, because I feel like we've had the elements done probably better. I know we're at the beginning of this arc, but it feels like we've heard it very recently with Stranded.
It does have a similar vibe to Stranded, I agree.
With Klein, with what they were trying to do with Klein's character as well. But yeah, I'm still not sold on the Colin stuff at the minute.
Yeah, I think it could go either way for me still. And part of me still just sat here feeling like I kind of want Perry back or something. Like we've had that older Perry arc going for 8 years now, I think.
Yeah, 2014.
Yeah, October 2014. So nearly 8 years. And we've only had 3 main range releases and 1 4-episode box set. So, yeah. I think the other odd thing about the relaunch of the Sixth Doctor is that he's very much more going in the direction the Eighth Doctor had, where it was like this long form story across multiple box sets. Whereas the Eighth Doctor, we know, is going to be going in the opposite direction with more standalone stuff. So it's weird to think that what seemed like with the relaunch would be, back to basics stories, we are actually just getting another restart of different longer story arcs, like for the Fourth Doctor, for the Sixth Doctor, sorry, and for the Second Doctor with Beyond War Games, setting up something that we don't know how long these are going to be going on for. Because when you had Stranded or Doom Coalition announced, for example, you had set 4 box sets. That's it. That's your start. That's your end. You know where you were at with them. Whereas now with the relaunch, it's sort of thrown a spanner in the works there. And I'm not sure whether it's a good thing or a bad thing yet, because it can surprise you with where the ending's going to come from, can't it?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you don't know where you stand in terms of, have I just listened to the middle part of a story? Is this the second act, or am I still way into the first act and we've still got a long way to go?
Are we in filler territory now before we get to like the juicy stuff?
Yeah.
I guess at least with like the upcoming 11th Doctor stuff, you've kind of got the same thing with like Stranded. Like that's where it ends. We've got 4 box sets. Happy days.
Yeah. And I think with Second Doctor, I feel like we've got a good base to build on there now. Like, we already loved Michael Troughton back in June because we'd had him in The Annihilators, but now we've heard him take on a full box set himself, and so relaunch wise, I'm excited to see where that goes. I think a strong foundation has been built for it to build on going forward.
Yeah, I'd say Second Doctor, and I think First Doctor in particular has got a good solid base. Coming up, Fourth Doctor, there's not really much you can do because obviously they're pre-recorded so many years in advance.
It's just business as usual at the moment, really, isn't
Yeah,
it?
for Tom it is. Davison's, like I said, Autumn Infinity's really pushed him. McCoy, it seems like we are jumping all over the place. We've had season 24, now we're getting a TV movie McCoy on the cover.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that with the news, won't we? But that
Yes.
seems to be starting. It seems a longer story arc for the Seventh Doctor is starting as the second set of the relaunch, which is an interesting choice. But yeah,
Which I quite like actually, because they've been hinting at the final days of the Seventh Doctor, which I guess we can see how he started life as this sort of clown, and then we get to the TV movie, then we slowly start to transition into a more, I guess, depressed Seventh Doctor. I don't know, more weary. I don't know, something like that.
I mean, I think Third Doctor has stayed consistently strong. We were loving the Third Doctor this time last year. We're still loving him this time this year. We've got Kaleidoscope next month. So I think that range is in a good space. And so it'll probably continue to go from strength to strength.
Yeah, arguably it's Big Finish's Jewel in the Crown range at the minute. I think that range can do no wrong. Touch wood. I don't want to jinx it, but it's been the range where if I could only get one range, it probably would be that.
Yeah, I agree there. Yeah, I think certainly put a pin in that because I'm going to have more to say on that as we get through the top 5.
Okay.
But yeah, I suppose, is it time to start the top 5 itself?
Yes, let's do that. Number 5.
Ben Miller, hello there in the chat, says, I hope Russell T Davies brings back the Slovene. And I think also just going to have a quick look through Stylish Person's other comments. Also, would you ever consider doing an April Fool's stream where, for example, you compliment Rufus Hound, hate the invasion, and love Evil of the Daleks? Also, Ben is off camera and Luke is on camera, perhaps.
Oh, that'd be a nice little change.
Wow.
I mean, we've complimented Rufus Hound, haven't we? With
yeah,
Black
we
Hole.
had our Black Hole.
We've been nice to Rufus Hound. Well, I have.
To be fair, that one's more aimed at you because I'm always nice to Rufus Hound. I do like my Rufus Hound monk.
I mean, I've been nice because of the Outlaws as well. So, maybe I'm changing. Maybe I'm getting soft in my old age. I don't know.
You're warming to him at long last.
Yeah, maybe I am. Maybe.
He had a big month in April, didn't he? I wonder if we're going to be hearing more from him soon. Presumably, he's going to be in the next Missy set because I think he's a regular feature of that range.
Which I think is a little bit of a shame.
Why is that?
Because I feel like it's kind of like that River criticism we have with the Doctors, like, just let us stand on our own for a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think they've become a double act now for people. I mean, I've not listened to any of the Missy stuff, so I could be completely wrong.
I mean, I think because he turned up in one story in each of the first 2 box sets. And then from there, I think they saw how well received that was. And so for the third one, called Missy and the Monk, they very much leaned into them together. So I think there's a story arc, isn't there, where they're both like symbiotically linked to the same TARDIS, and so they have to coexist because they won't be able to move around time and space otherwise. So I don't know whether that's resolved at the end of Missy and the Monk or if that's going to be ongoing for series 4.
Yeah.
Stylish Person also says, also Big Finish have been nailing it with the covers recently, more than making up for those lackluster painted covers which made people not want releases.
But they do look better in
Yes.
person. Certain painted covers, like 10th Doctor Classic Companions, that looks way better in person.
Yeah, I prefer that one in person. I think as well that's got like a more of a black border, whereas the download version has it sort of like this almost ugly brown at the bottom. I think it helps it pop a lot more. Yeah, certainly painted covers are ones that do better in person for me. But
Yeah, should we move on to a top 5?
Yeah, let's go for number 5. Who's going to go first?
I'll let you go first this time.
Ah, thank you.
I'll be a gentleman.
Hmm.
And of course, before we do that, if we match, we'll wait for each other so we can have a nice little big discussion on said story instead of sort of going talk about it twice.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's only right.
Yeah, and I think it's right to talk about it where it comes up higher in the group, higher in the list. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like this is one that's going to be on yours. I don't know if it's going to be in the same spot, but I'm going for a very recent release, which I just finished today, actually. Blood and Steel, the New Adventures of Bernie Summerfield set.
That is on my list.
Is it later on?
It is later on my list.
Okay, so we will leave that there for now. But yeah, Blood and Steel, number 5 on my list. A cracking box set.
Yes, it is a very good box set.
Are you almost offended that I've put it this low?
I'm surprised. I thought it might be a little bit higher, but
it was a close one between this and number 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So your number 5. Let's hear it.
My number 5. This is a bit of a shocker.
Ooh.
I have gone for. I'm all about those underdog releases here. You know, like the Outlaws. I wanted to spread love for it, and I still love that range, and I still love that release. But I think I want to give number 5, Classic Doctor's New Monsters Volume 3.
Oh, that's not on my list. It was one I was thinking about, but there's one story in the set that maybe kept it off.
Again, I think if we were doing individual stories, I think 2 of these stories would be on this top 5. I think the main reason this is on the list is because of like the house that Hawks built. It's a nice homage of Barry Letts and RTD mishmash together. It's beautiful. It's a nice little
it's
ghost
such a perfect
story.
Marriage, isn't it?
It is.
It feels really so is. Right, world building wise.
You know, like the whole revelation feels very like the Gelf. You've got a nice little reference to Image of the Fendal.
You've got like Sarah and her sheep friend, the member of the Upright Flock. The way that relationship is told, the fact that she gets to spend time with her, it feels something very similar to what Rose would do in a new series where she's talking to the ordinary people, as it were, like with Gwen in. Well, it's not. It's Gwyneth. Gwyneth.
Gwyneth. Yeah.
Young Quiet Dead, and the maintenance worker in End of the World. It's very much that style of relationship between Sarah and this character, isn't it? And so that feels very new series, but also very right for Sarah at the same time.
And then Hawks himself, very much like Mr. Copper. You get some nice bits with him and the Third Doctor when they're sort of in the kitchen, which is great, sort of chopping carrots. Wonderful. It's got a wonderful, nice little character. Yeah, little moments like that where you're like, this is really charming and wholesome, but you've got a nice sort of ghost story within there. And then the Tivolian, but knew too much, I think it is. Second story.
Yeah, that's the second story. That's the one that weakens the box set for me.
I enjoy that one, I think, but it's a nice match of Leela and a Tivolian. I think they work very well. It's got a nice sort of
smart combination there.
It's a smart combination. It's a great summer listen, I would say. And I think for me the weakest one is Together in Electric Dream, is it the third story?
I do quite like that one.
I think
I think it's my third favourite set though. But yeah, I think it's a solid one.
The McGann story makes this box set. It's a nice little conclusion. We love Storytime McGann, and you've basically got that. There's not much really happening within the story, and I think if you're a long-time Big Finish listener, you'll just enjoy it because it's 8 and Charlie. It's just such a joy using mythos, and just it's got quite a nice sort of dark twist halfway through. It's great, lovely.
Yeah. It's the best 8th Doctor Charlie story of the year in a year where we've had the 8th Doctor Charlie box set. In fact, to be honest, it's my favourite 8th Doctor story of the year.
Yeah, I'd agree with that so far. Yeah,
we'll see if anything with Liv and Helen in the next 2 box sets changes that.
Yeah. Should we move on to number 4?
Yeah, let's go for it. Do you want to have your number 4 first then? Since
okay, my number 4. I think this might shock you. This one, I have gone for Autumn Infinity.
That is on my list.
So there we go. Take it whatever your number 4. I'll put a pin.
Yeah, my number 4 is the Ravencliff Witch. So as we moved down from 3rd place last time, it very nearly was 5th place. I wasn't too sure, but yeah, I think it still overall feels a bit stronger for me than Blood and Steel. So yeah, I mean, it's the same reasons as last time, really. I just really enjoy the seaside setting, the atmosphere of this story. It feels very right for Hinchcliffe Who. It very much suits that period. It's got that nice Nigel Neal influence throughout it. Yeah, I just love this story. It's a nice, cozy listen to stick on. It's got great atmosphere, great characters as well. I mean, you could see why they brought Margaret back, but not just her. There are quite a few other great characters. I think it's Simon is the lighthouse keeper.
Yes,
I believe that was his name. Yeah, like just
Rings
wonderful characters like that, and great mystery throughout it with a nice sci-fi explanation at the end. Yeah, I really have a good time with this one. It's definitely going to be one I stick on again. Maybe I feel like it would be a good maybe January listen.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's very much off-season seaside, isn't it? So you very much can imagine it working in the colder weather.
Yeah, I can see that actually, because January's quite a bit of a glum month, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's also the month we're used to having the 4th Doctor, because for the first 10 series, that was where he called home, wasn't it, for his premiere?
I do miss
now
that.
He's shifted to the March, so yeah, maybe it'd be good to fill in the gap there with some 4th Doctor. So okay, that's our number 4 spots.
Yeah. Number 3 then.
Yeah, just checking the chat. Stylish person asked favourite covers from this year. I think we'll come back to that after the top 5 stylish one. But
yeah, we'll put a pin in that.
We've got lots of pins to come back to at some point. We've got a whole notice board up, haven't we?
At this point, we're starting a notice board.
Yeah, so we will get back to that. Also, I asked several streams ago, what would make you buy the Doctor Chronicles, Luke? And we finally found out. Also, we need Who the Man to be a title, like you said.
Yes.
Who the Man? Doctor Chronicles Volumes 5. Who the Man?
Yeah, that would be great. Please, that'd be lovely.
Yeah. Stylish person's number 1, meanwhile, is Beyond War Games, because it's the only release from this year I've heard. Nothing against new releases, but I only buy physical CDs, so the backlog is where I focus my collecting. That is understandable, because certainly that backlog is slimming down when it comes to CDs. A lot of stuff is going on the bonfire, I suppose.
I mean, you've done very well for CDs this year, considering you're mainly download only.
Yeah, certainly gone all out with the relaunch in the end, which I wasn't quite expecting to do. But I feel like after I'd gotten so many of them, it just felt it would be awkward to have that gap of 1 or 2 Doctors on there. So
yeah, and it's quite nice having them all together.
Yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? I think now that they finally got the spines bit more consistent. There's still some
Yeah.
issues there, but at least with the logo size, it's a nice consistent spread, isn't it?
Yes.
So it'll be good once I've got a new storage CD cabinet to put up over the weekend, and then I can start arranging them all nicely in there. So yeah, that'll look good. Because at the moment, the physical CDs aren't quite being done justice because they're just being piled up, all one on top of the other to the side of me.
I can relate to that. I can relate.
Sorry, I just had a cough there and didn't want to.
Oh, that's all right. I was like, is he alive? Is he gone? No, he's still here.
He
We'll
lives.
never know. We'll never know your other free releases.
They remain a mystery. Stylish Person says the Final Beginning is an amazing release, though. Still one of, if not my favorite audios ever. I'll not continue it. I've not continued it yet because I want to savor it. Long may Season 6B go on as an arc. By continuing, I mean listen to Wrath of the Ice Warriors. There we go.
Be interested to know what you make of that one.
Yeah, because certainly that one was the one we were most excited for, wasn't it? But we ended up souring on the set because of that one, I'd say.
I think because we know how good unit can be done.
How good Andrew Smith can do this style of story as well. It just felt like there was more potential than was lived up to.
Yeah, because Andrew Smith normally is like the go-to summer blockbuster audio guy. Or if you want something like really authentic, he'll deliver, like Return to Skaro. But there was something just a little bit off with it. Like it was close to the mark, but it never quite landed, I don't think, for me.
Yeah, I think it had moments early on with the atmosphere of like the Scotland, as you had the Second Doctor exploring there. You had the Boffy again. We love a good Boffy with our Grey Man of the Mountain. But yeah, I think certainly in the last two parts is where it really fell apart for me. But yeah, on to good releases because it's a top 5.
Yes. Oh, you've might have thought, but it's Beyond War Games that are on here. I don't know.
We sort of spoiled that now, but
damn it!
It's not a bad release.
No,
like I said earlier, it's a solid foundation for the Second Doctor to build on, and I look forward to seeing where these adventures go. But
it will be in the top 10.
I'm not even sure about that, but
I'd put it in the top 10.
I might, maybe.
It'll be towards
it's hard
the
enough
lower
choosing
end.
a top 5, so
yeah,
we'll see. Yeah, number 3. I think it's my turn to go first this time, isn't it?
Yes, take it away.
Old Friends.
Oh, that's a shock.
It's been knocked down a peg.
Oh, I wasn't expecting it to be there.
Okay. So is it still to come on yours then?
It's still to come on mine.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your number 3 then?
My number 3 is Blood and Steel.
Here we go. We can talk about it now.
Yeah, we can talk about it. What a good box set it is.
It is such thematically rich stuff, isn't it? It's wonderful that it's all set in the world of 1930s Germany, and that it really can explore that horror alongside the horror of the Cybermen.
It explores the horror of a Cyberman in a very different way, like the hypnotic pulse, and how it deals with conversion and using people as sort of harvesting them for parts, which I don't think you get in a traditional Doctor Who Cyberman story.
It's very new adventures in that it can go a lot darker, can't it? It doesn't quite go full on. It doesn't feel dark and gritty for the sake of being gritty. It feels like it's earned this tone because of the subject matter it's dealing with.
But it can have wonderful, fanciful moments like the compare and the Doctor on a sledge going into a cyber conversion factory. It has wonderful fun, what that range is known for. But this is probably the darkest this range has gone.
I mean, there is one very funny moment in episode 3 involving a Zig Heil.
Yeah.
Where it's both funny and also quite serious, isn't it? It matches that very well.
it's a real clever release on how it mirrors the Cybermen and the rise of the Nazis.
It's
And I
that
think,
idea of us and them, isn't it?
yeah, it's like
Yeah, of
conditioning
elitism.
and all that sort of stuff. But what I really like is like the character of the compare, how the Cybermen treat that character in the final story,
Yeah,
because they are a non-binary character. They struggle with identity. The Cybermen can give that character identity. I think that's quite a rich thing to explore.
I think there's also a wonderful line where it's from the Doctor where he says, "I see you've got some new material."
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some quite wonderful bits of dialogue like that spread throughout, and also some wonderful moments of vulnerability between the Doctor and Benny, and also some other characters as well, such as Wolf, who gets a whole episode devoted to him, really. And I think that's certainly one way you really experience the horror of cyber conversion, or partial cyber conversion in this case. And yeah, it's wonderful how this set being spread across 4 episodes allows for a lot more of those quieter moments. It allows for repercussions to take place from one episode to another. I think each episode mostly stands alone quite well, but then they come together to form a greater whole, really, don't they? It's not like one long Cyberman story. It's not another invasion where it's a 4-hour epic. It is very much more, each episode has its own beginning, middle, and end, doesn't it? But then
It deals
they
with
all
like the
form a whole.
aftershocks of episode 1, really.
Yeah, that's very much something Benny has to deal with throughout the box set.
Because like you finish episode 1, you're like, okay, is that the Cybermen all done with this? But no, there are bigger things afoot with it, really.
Yeah. I mean, you get some nice homages, don't you? There's a lot of 62 references. You got like the cyber planner hidden in a CEO's wall, or
Yeah.
director of the Conformity Institute, same as Tobias Vaughan had in his office. And alongside that, you have sort of a archaeological dig in the same vein as Tomb of the Cybermen, but in a different setting. And so you had some nice callbacks to Tomb of the Cybermen there throughout. And then, like you say, Hypnotic Pulse again, calling back to Invasion.
I got a bit Daleks in Manhattan vibe in episode 1 with how it opens.
I know what you mean, actually. Like that Mr. Diagonus scene where they're
Yeah,
looking
with the
over
Dalek.
New York.
You get the Cyberman and one of the characters that they're looking over the city of Berlin. Yeah, I think Big Finish right now are really nailing the Cybermen. I think their content is just top notch.
It's been a solid year for them. They've been in quite a few releases.
Yeah, they've been in Silver and Ice.
Yeah. I think we've got to explore different sides of them as well, because we've got to explore the horror very much in this set, but also still got to have some fun, pulpy sci-fi stuff in Silver and Ice.
And I think what's sort of pushed this box set to number 3 for me is, with the hindsight that we know that, David Warner is sadly no longer with us, it really highlights how much I love his Unbound Doctor. I prefer him to some TV doctors. That might be a bit of a hot take, but I genuinely do. And I think with this box, it just really highlights how special him and Bernie Summerfield are together and why they're such a great duo.
I think he gets a bit more to do in this one as well compared to some other ones, because it's still very much Benny's show, but nevertheless, I think he does get to take the reins a bit more, the reins of the sleigh.
I think in episode 4 you definitely get that, because I think the last sort of 20 minutes of the final story has got such a good emotional beat to it. So good.
Yeah, I think episode 3 as well is wonderful for their relationship, as he's trying to cheer her up by going on this archaeological dig. But he's not necessarily doing archaeology right still, is he? And that frustrates Benny a bit.
I think that's the most New Adventures of Bernie Summerfield story. If I was to say that's what the New Adventures of Bernie Summerfield is about, it would be that story. With the Unbound stuff, I think that has the same sort of flair as the other sets.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And then you get something which is sort of usual for a Scott Hancock box set, the experimental one in the second episode with Wolf, where that is something very different and very, very domestic, really, quite depressing.
Yeah, it is.
But
there's
an
a heart
interesting
to it.
message. Yeah, it's got a heart, and it's also got quite a worrying message by the end of it. It's nice how this box set isn't just focused on Berlin. It does look at Germany as a whole, while bookending itself with Berlin in the first and final episodes.
Yeah, great box set. Definitely pick it up.
Yeah, well worth it while it's still on the lower pre-order price. I think your physical copy's arrived, hasn't it? It's got a
Yeah, it has.
design.
Yeah, we've got a nice little spine and disc art. What's not available on the app, and you can only get it physically. So buy your physical copies to get nice artwork.
Yeah, I think Sean Longmore keeps delivering with that because he did the same for Torchwood Nightmares, didn't he? Where we got some extra artwork there on the physical release.
I wonder if the same will happen to Soho.
Yeah, let's see. Maybe Kaleidoscope.
Although,
yeah, I suppose that doesn't necessarily need it as much because it is all one story anyway.
Unless there's another little surprise.
Perhaps. Yeah, I mean, maybe you could just get Third Doctor on one cover, on one disc, Brigadier on the next, and then Sarah on the last, or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, just something to mix up. I mean, the Annihilators Cup disc art, they were like a different color each, weren't they?
Yeah.
It was the same artwork, but with
different
green,
filter?
yellow, and orange filters on it, I think, or something.
Yeah.
Just keep them unique. So we'll see what Kaleidoscope has to offer. But anyway, number 2 now.
Number 2.
We're storming through this, aren't we? I suppose because I mean, we've had a few pins put in that we need to come back to at some point.
I guess we're coming back to some of these pins now.
Yeah, we're working our way there. Number 2, what's your number 2? I think I know.
My number 2 is Old Friends.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I've decided to change it.
Okay. Well, I suppose we should talk about Old Friends now then, because this was your top before, wasn't it?
Yeah, it has been. It was my top.
I mean,
I think it's arguably the best Eccleston set still for me.
I'd agree there. Have you re-listened to it or your number 1 at all since to make this change, or is it just?
I think it's where my heart's at, and
the
more we've talked about number 1, the more I'm like, it has to be number 1. And I felt so bad in like June when we did it. I was like, I should have put it there. Because everything you were saying, I was like, I agree, and I kind of kicked myself for not putting it there. But
I know what you mean. I mean, I still had a similar struggle with my number 2 and number 1, but we'll come to that shortly. I know everyone's already guessed what we're on about because we've made no secret about these. But for the sake of it, we are going to pretend not to mention.
You don't know.
We got to keep the focus on Old Friends, haven't we? To be fair to it, so Old Friends. It was my number 3.
Yes, so, I think I just get a buzz thinking back to the day it was released and just having that trailer and that surprise of, oh my god, it's an actual Cyberman story with the Brigadier and Ninth Doctor. It felt like a nice end finale for that series. And I think
it felt like a nice coming full circle as well for the Brigadier and the Doctor's relationship going back to the invasion, didn't it?
Yeah, and I think the pairing of having those two characters, this battle-hardened Doctor, which the story does play with as well, which is nice. And I think, the Cybermen are, again, real great storming force within it, again, proving that Big Finish are the king at Cybermen stories at the minute.
With the two-parter, they're able to build their threat much more as well, aren't they? I also have those quiet moments between the Doctor and the Brigadier early on, and really sell the scale of this invasion on the Firth of Forth.
Yeah, it's got that nice sort of looming that you know that the Cybermen are coming eventually. And the way it starts to reveal the Cybermen are great with like the fourth bridge, how that's utilized is great. The attack on the train is wonderful. It has these great big
attack on the submarine.
Yeah, with them walking on the sort of sea floor. Oh, so good.
Like,
and you can imagine the headlights being lit. Oh, great.
Yeah, the image of them walking on the seafloor, kicking the sand up, creating like the dust cloud around it, but the headlamps shining through. It's just such great imagery. And it never feels forced the way it's discussed in the dialogue, is it?
No,
It gives you enough hints for you to build that wonderful, visceral picture for yourself.
I think you generally get a fear factor for the Cybermen within it.
Like yeah, it really do.
Especially when you get to an age where you're like, Doctor Who doesn't really scare you. But I was like, I'm genuinely kind of like unnerved by it in a way. With how it's done, and you just put yourself into a situation like, oh, that's kind of scary. But yeah, I love how it utilizes sort of Scottish myth as great, really.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very much like the focus of part one, isn't it? And
yeah,
it's nice how it almost has its own story, doesn't it? The first episode, I think it's the fourth generation, the Way of the Burryman. That's the
Way of Burryman,
yeah. And then the fourth generation is the second, and it sort of feels like, oh, you're building towards a conclusion, but then no, something's gone wrong, and then all hell breaks loose, really. And it takes a very nice Ninth Doctor trait, similar to the Long Game, where that leads. It's the Doctor thinking he's found a solution, he's solved everything, but in doing so creates an even bigger problem that he has to deal with the consequences of. So yeah, wonderful stuff. And I think the heart of it really is the Brigadier and the Doctor's relationship.
Yeah, real nice, charming bit. But you do get another bonus story in that box set, which is Fond Farewell, which again, nice sort of end of the world type story. Got some nice gimmicky RTD Butler monster characters with a catchphrase. Just a real good box set to get, mainly for the Cyberman story. But yeah,
like that's the main meat, but you're not cheated out on the other story either. You do get a good little extra in there too. But certainly, your main if you're buying it for that Cyberman two-parter.
Yeah.
Anything else is just a bonus at that point. So yeah, Roy Gill, fantastic stuff there.
What is your number two?
My number two is the Auton Infinity.
Ah, there we go.
So here we are. What was this your number 4 or number?
This was my number 4. Yeah. My number 4.
There we go. So yeah, it's come back round now. We can take this pin out.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about this 2 weeks ago. It is a brilliant, brilliant set. It brings everything together.
So many surprises.
Yeah, so many great twists and turns. 6-part for the Fifth Doctor, and it uses every minute of it so well. It never drags at all. These are chunky episodes as well, like going 30, 35 minutes, but you never feel like it's a slog to get through. There's so much wonderful lore within there. The exploration of the Orsons themselves. The Fifth Doctor goes through some emotional stuff through this one. It just really does feel like a proper celebration. So, what about you? Why is it number 4 for you?
I think it was number 4 because I really like the doom-ridden atmosphere of Blood and Steel, and I think for me, it took a while for me. I was enjoying the story. It just took me a while to get into it, to get what the story was about. I think for me, like I still rate it highly. It's still a 9 out of 10 box set for me. 9 out of 10 story, what we did, voted for it. But I think for me, it took a while to get to those moments where I was like, this is perfect, when we get the revelation of how the other two stories link to it. But yeah, it's a good story. It is a good story. With like how it utilizes its references, it's got so many bits. It's not.
It's got many references packed in there, but none of them ever feel too forced, do they?
Yeah, because you joke going, well, it seems more like a celebration of the Pertwee years, but the more you deep dive into the story, the more you think this is such a good anniversary for the Fifth Doctor. It feels like the Auton equivalent of the Five Doctors. It has that Five Doctors feel to it. It's got a
It does
nice
very
grand
much
scale
match
to
that
it.
atmosphere.
Yeah, it's I think it's come out at the perfect time because I feel like Five Doctors sort of feels very autumnal for me in a way.
Yeah.
It's all quite a cozy watch, and I think that
Autonomous.
yeah, and I think that this story just matches that in everything. The way the Masters worked into the story, brilliant. John Coleshaw is
Triple duty.
Yeah, and he's doing scenes where he's playing all three characters at once, and you're like, I would not know that's one guy. It's brilliant. Yeah, it's the Vanquishers just explored better.
Yeah, it does a lot better with certain elements there. I think, especially
And
with a large cast of characters, like not only do you have the returning companions and Brigadier and such, but you've also got some new characters introduced as well who play a big part in the climax of the story. But it feels right for them to be there. It feels earned, doesn't it?
mm-hmm.
And also, it doesn't feel like they're just clogging up the scene. Despite it being audio, it feels like they've got more to do there than often in Chibnall episodes when you have a bunch of characters.
Because in a way, it is sort of a bit fluxy in a way. Auto Infinity, it does have that sort of feel in a way.
Yeah, I mean, certainly there's one twist in particular in it, similar to the Vanquishers, and I think it's also sort of like the Fifth Doctor's journey's end at the same time, isn't it?
And there's a nice little cameo where you're like, it doesn't feel right to sort of be a celebration about the Fifth Doctor without certain things in there, and there are things in there like dealing with Tegan's, rapid departure and resurrection of the Daleks. You get these real nice moments between Five and Tegan about Tegan being a constant, and I think that's such a lovely thing for the Fifth Doctor to hold on, because these characters are always sort of locking horns together, but to have those moments where the Fifth Doctor's like, I do appreciate you.
Yeah,
It's nice.
I think especially for this Fifth Doctor who doesn't really know her that well at this point.
Yeah,
because he's only really had a couple of adventures.
Because where is it? Is it just after
It'd be Four to Doomsday.
Four to Doomsday, yeah.
Yeah, for the Fifth Doctor. Because then he goes straight from there into Secrets of Telos, then back to God of War, and then finally here, Auton Infinity. Yeah, great stuff. And I mean, for me, between this and my number one choice, it was a hard decision because I was wrestling between my head and my heart, really. Because I look at Auton Infinity, I think this might be the best story of the year, but I don't have the heart to put it in the top spot because I think number one, which we'll say it in a second, everyone knows,
Yeah.
it's both our number ones. There's just something, that era of the show, it feels a bit more special to us, doesn't it? And the way that the story was able to capture that made it just push up and earn the top spot. It's that similar thing of Empire Strikes Back and A New Hope, isn't it, for a lot of people, where they say, Empire on paper is the best, no doubt about it. I think Auton Infinity is the best here, but it's not my favorite. It's the distinction there.
Yeah.
So, number one, you do the honors. You reveal it for both of us.
This is no surprise. It is a February release, a story by Nicholas Briggs, which I have to say probably is my favourite Nicholas Briggs script.
Perhaps.
It is The Annihilators. Cue the 70s music, Sting, bang, twang, everything.
Oh.
There we go.
Wow!
Whoa.
Okay.
It's like we're in the 70s, or is it
Yeah.
80s? I don't know. Wow.
Who
What a
knows
great
anymore?
time. Oh, a 7-part story, what just rattles by.
It feels like it was made for us.
Oh, yeah. It was like Nick was like, I'm going to make it for you too. This is for you. You know?
I mean, we were a bit hesitant about the second Doctor being there at first when we found out about that, but it works so well, and he does suit this season 7 style of story. I think because you had the invasion with him and Jamie, didn't you? Which we even get callbacks to, like the lift scene and such. So it does feel right for them to be there. And so there you go, stylish person. Don't have to riot. We've got second Doctor on the list.
I do have a little question. Would you have preferred the second Doctor to have been left a surprise?
I'm not so sure. Because I feel like, because it's Michael Troughton's debut, we're not quite used to his voice yet.
I mean,
like
maybe
if you had that opening scene where, you know, he appears, and it's not until later in episode 1 that the Doctor says to Liz, "Oh, I saw my previous self." I think if it had been left a surprise and was the way it is, I'd very much have been like, wait, that was meant to be the second Doctor? Like, no offense to Michael, but, you know, it's a very short scene. There's no way you can get across that this is second Doctor without already being familiar with the performance.
See, if you were going to keep the second Doctor surprise, I probably would cut that moment, because the way the story builds to the second Doctor and Jamie feels very like natural. To be that sort of twist to give the story more momentum to push it through to the final couple of episodes, really.
Yeah. But I think that moment does work because it all very much ties into that in the end, doesn't it? When things come full circle.
The real gravity of the situation, yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. But yeah, we've gushed about this a lot, and I'm sure we'll continue gushing about it when we do the big tier list. But yeah, it feels wonderfully season 7. You know, the griminess of the dockyards, the
you
actual.
can hear the film grain.
Yes,
I think is something I've said before and you've said before.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's so good. Liz is great. Liz and Jamie, what an unlikely combo. They work so well,
don't they?
Yeah, it's like
You have
Liz
that
and
wonderful
River.
attack on the bungalow.
Yeah, and it's just like the image of like the TARDIS in the middle of the road and just them swerving around it. That feels very Spearhead from Space when like the Auton comes out of the wood. You can really picture that. It's got such strong visual imagery for it, and you can tell this is a love letter to that time.
Yeah, definitely. I think Nick Briggs, like us, has a real passion for the third Doctor adventures, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And I mean, I believe he's like been heavily involved in it right from the start, hasn't he?
I think he's directed most of them, isn't he? Or all of them.
Yeah. And certainly he is script editor at the moment with Heather Challen's producing. So I look forward to seeing where this range goes now, because it feels like it's just hit after hit, really.
I think ideally after Volume 4, it's just kind of delivered. I think Volume 5, the floodgate opened, and then I think Volume 6 was a bit of a step back, and it come back with Volume 7 going, well, we're going to give you a Season 7 and Season 11 story.
Yeah. It feels like things are continuing to open up even more now that we are in this different type of box set era. It's no longer 2 4-parters per set. We can experiment with what we get much more. And what a way to open it up with a 7-parter.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You think 7 parts on audio, how is that gonna work? But the parts are relatively short, so it doesn't feel very daunting. I think the Auto Infinity is longer.
Yeah, it is.
Than the
I believe
Annihilator.
Kaleidoscope is going to be longer as well. Looking at the runtime of that on the website.
Hmm.
Surge Person says no second Doctor releases. I mean, Annihilators. It's got him in it. It's
It's
half the
technically part of Beyond War Games. It's part of a second series of Beyond War Games. So just saying.
There we go. He's being held back by the third Doctor or propped up, depending on who you ask. Lol. Yeah, if you asked John Pertwee, he'd say he's being propped up. If you ask Patrick Troughton, he'd say he's being held back.
Yeah, and if you ask us, he's being propped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there we go. But yeah, Beyond War Game is great. But I think that this release probably flourished. It feels more Troughtony because you've got Jamie. So I feel like it just works better.
Again, perfect time of year for it.
Yeah, definitely, and I feel like it's one I want to revisit now. Now it's getting a bit colder.
Yeah, I had a revisit of it a couple of months ago. I was in Mallorca at the time, so it certainly wasn't colder. But
that's a bit of an odd place to listen to it.
Yeah, just the mood hit me. And
okay. Yeah. Okay.
I've been wanting to revisit it for a long while, to be honest. And I think there's something about that first part being just 22 minutes. It's so easy to just stick on and then you get sucked in and go through the whole thing, really, don't you?
Isn't it free as well? I think part 1.
Yeah, part 1 is free. So if you wanted
check
to
it out,
go for it. Yeah, it's up there on the website. It's also got the original cover on it because at first they didn't reveal that the second Doctor and Jamie were going to be a part of it. So it had like a fake cover, didn't it?
Which is nice.
But Sean Longmore, the cover artist, left a little hint in there because Liz is holding the second Doctor's sonic screwdriver on it.
I wonder if there's any like little Easter egg on Kaleidoscope or hint at the Master. I wonder.
Maybe. What Sarah got in her hand? Has she got a TCE there?
Or a little TCE person? Yeah, I don't know. A little Yaz.
Yeah. There we go.
But yeah, that's been the top 5. It's changed, which is nice. So it makes us feel like we're not milking it too much to say, it's been good.
Yeah. Should we have a quick rundown of what they were for those who maybe joined recently, and just to refresh everyone's memory? So, I think. Do you want me to go through my top 5 first, and then?
Yeah.
Quick. Yeah. So at my number 5 was Blood and Steel, the recent New Adventures of Bernie Summerfield set. David Warner's presumably last performance in the role of the Doctor. So it's a bittersweet one, isn't it? And
yes,
it's a wonderfully dark story, very thematically rich, and some scary parallels to today's world as well. Certainly, these things looking back get more and more relevant because you're exploring Germany during the rise of the National Socialists, the Nazis, and how people don't take the threat of fascism seriously at their peril. And so, yeah, it's scary thinking where we're at today, thinking, we've learned lessons from history, but I mean, we'll try not to get too political, but, this is an inherently political box set. And I think it very much is deliberately pointing out the similarities between parts of the world today and where Germany was at during this time. So scary stuff, really, in that respect. But there's fun to be had as well. You've got the Doctor on a sledge.
Oh, yeah.
Here comes Santa Claus.
Oh, that's great.
Number 4 spot, Tom Baker release. It is the Ravencliff Witch, a wonderful little Fourth Doctor story, very Nigel Neal inspired, and just great lashings of atmosphere there. I think there's probably a trend here, but you can tell I love a good bit of cold, wintry atmosphere in my Big Finish. I like to wrap up warm while listening to these.
I think that's the best way. Hot chocky, happy days,
Yeah. And then Old Friends comes in the number 3rd spot. Christopher Eccleston uniting with John Coleshaw as the Brigadier. They are really the heart of this set. A great 2-part finale featuring the Cybermen as a real threat, and also a wonderful little story in Fond Farewell to kick the box set off as well. Number 2, it was The Autumn Infinity, which, like I say, probably the best release of this year, but it doesn't quite reach my favorite. It doesn't tickle that same nostalgia for me, I suppose. So ultimately, the nostalgia kick comes from the Annihilators in the number 1 spot. So Ben, remind us of your top 5.
So my number 5 was Classic Doctors New Monsters Volume 3. I'm all for underdog releases, and I think that this box it was a bit of a meme, but my goodness, it's got so many lovely little surprises within there, and it's definitely worth your time. Like the house that Hawks built and the Charlie story just make it worth a purchase for those alone, really.
I
Tim
think
Foley.
perhaps because the monsters were less known,
Mhm.
it allowed the stories to be a bit more creative, didn't they? Like, no one has a particular attachment to, say, the Tavolians, so it can mess around with them a bit more.
I think that's why it surprised me, because you go in with low expectations, going, all right, what's this going to be like? And I come out going, oh, you know what? This is a lot of fun. This is great. And I think that box set come at the right time for me.
Yeah.
Because when we did this back in June, July, I think I was getting really bad Big Finish fatigue. I was getting to the point where I was like, each release just wasn't doing anything for me.
And when they're piling them out at the rate they are, it does sort of add up a bit, doesn't it? When you have a new release come out and you're still getting through another one, you're thinking, do I really want to keep going?
And you start thinking, am I losing Big Finish? Am I out of touch with it? Is it not for me anymore?
Am I wasting my money?
Yeah. And when you're dropping a lot of money for these things and you're not enjoying it, well, you're like, it's stopped being fun, as Tegan says. Just get off while the going's good. So when I listened to that box, I was like, I felt revitalized by it. I was like, oh, this is why I love Big Finish. So it come out at the right time for me. Number 4 was the Autumn Infinity. I can only echo the same sentiment what Luke's been gushing over, only but it's at number 4 for me. Great release, and really shows 40 is a great little set of celebrating not only the Fifth Doctor, but other eras as well, really. Number 3 is Blood and Steel. Very bittersweet release, like we said, and thematically it's full of doom-ridden greatness. Again, a great use of the Cybermen, how it parallels sort of the rise of the Nazis. Great emotional moments, and yeah, real surprising release, really. Real great one. And then number 2 is Old Friends. Was my number 1, but has changed. It for when we did the Big Finish for All Occasions. This was my summer blockbuster. I still stand by it. It's a great blockbuster series finale. It has that sort of Bad Wolf parting the ways feel to it, and great character moments with Ninth Doctor and Brigadier. Lovely stuff. And Fond Farewell very much evokes Series 1 Doctor 2 brilliantly. And of course, number 1 is The Annihilators. It's Third Doctor, of course, it's going to be a number 1. Great release and a nice, quick 7-parter. If 7 parts can be quick, it's The Annihilators.
Yeah, definitely agree there.
But
there we have it. That's the top 5s.
Yeah, it's been interesting, actually. I'm surprised by certain placements. I'm surprised by certain releases being there, but yeah, it's been good.
We've got like the majority of the same, really. Like 4 of ours are the same, just mixed up a bit. It's only Classic Doctor's New Monsters for you and Ravencliff Witch for me, which is unique to our list. So I think certainly our tastes are very similar when it comes to Big Finish.
We like cozy lessons.
Yeah,
we like that. Yeah, we joke about, oh, this is a hot chocky story, and yeah, for the most part, we've picked hot chocky stories.
We like our vintage nostalgia, don't we?
Yeah, we like our
it's a
slice
warm
of
cuddle.
authentic. Yes, absolutely. Should we have a little look at the chat before we do some news?
Yeah, Sarge Preston was asking earlier about covers. top 5 covers of, I think. Should we go for of the year?
Of the year, okay. Annihilators is there for sure.
Yeah, I think no particular order here, just picking 5 covers we really like.
Favorites.
Yeah, I think we do. Blood and Seal, another really good cover for the year.
I would say 41. I really like that cover.
Yeah, something works really well about that one.
I think I prefer it to Autumn Infinity cover.
No.
For me personally. Yeah.
Yeah, just having a flick through the website now. Oh, War Master, of course. Again, Sean Longmore's doing very well with his covers.
Yeah.
I love so many of them.
Very good. I'd say one of the recent Ninth Doctor covers. I think the Sea Devil cover, whatever that's called.
Yeah, that's quite.
I really like that
Titan,
one.
I think.
Yeah, Caesar Titan. I like that one.
Yeah, if we're looking to future stuff. Yeah, I'd certainly say, looking at upcoming covers, the new Seventh Doctor one is brilliant. Sullivan Cross Able, but I think a lot of this stuff we're going to talk about shortly in the news. So
yes. Let's have a look what other releases we had this year, just to go off this year. Kaleidoscope's a lot of fun. If I've not said that one already.
Yeah, that's a good cover with John on the snowmobile.
It's just that nice action, and it makes it a bit of a shame that we didn't get the Third Doctor on a tea tray for the Devil's Hoof Prince. What other covers? I do quite like Silver and Ice. It's a striking cover, but I wouldn't say it's a favourite. But it's definitely up there.
It's the characters in a line cover, isn't it? But it's not done too badly.
I think having the Radio Time Cyberman on there makes it go, oh, that's different. Yeah, I'd say that for now at the minute.
There we go. I suppose, shall we take a look at the news?
Yeah, let's do a bit of the old news. So if I load the old banner up, because we go high tech for the top 5.
Yeah, got to bring out all the stops, haven't we?
Yeah, because it's an occasion, it's an event.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, what's the earliest news article we've had since we last did this?
I have a feeling it's. If we can get it up.
Sorry, I think it's been a lot of sales. Colchester. Yeah, there's been a lot of. It feels like a sale every day.
Yeah, I picked up one story from the Burnley sale. The short trips are on sale at the minute. Yeah, I think it's gotta be. Benny's out. We like it. Great. Because our last bit of news was Unit versus Axos.
Yeah, it was, and now we've got a cover for that. But that's the most recent news, so save that till last.
Yeah, we'll get onto that. So we've got a free Tortured audio, a postcard from Mr. Colchester by James Goss. Have you listened to it yet?
Not yet. I did pick up Death in Venice, the Ace story. So I've got
there it is.
I got it as part of the download. You can also get it for free anyway. It's just a little 10-minute thing. I think it's meant to tide over like fans who are waiting on what's coming next after God Among Us. So I'm not sure how much I'll get out of it because I've not listened to Alien or God Among Us. So I don't know quite how much story arc stuff there'll be in there. But I think you can never complain about a little free extra, can you?
No, and I really like Mr. Colchester. He's one of the standouts from like the Big Finish Tortured stuff, and I'm glad that he's able to break away from the Among Us stuff.
Pairing him with Sophie Aldred as well for these sets has been a stroke of genius, really. Inspired idea. But I suppose the one of the most exciting bits of news we've had is Hidden Depths.
Yes, which I'm sure we probably joked about on stream going, it's got to be a Sea Devil story.
It feels so obvious, but at the same time so overlooked and such a nice surprise. It's the
Yeah.
same with Old Friends again, isn't it? Because that just feels
Yes.
so obvious that it would be the Cybermen. Like the Ninth Doctor calls them an old friend in Dalek when he sees it in the museum. Of course, the title's a reference to that, but because you got the Brigadier there, and we had the Cybermen the set before, you just don't consider it. And so yeah, Hidden
Yeah.
Depths. We have a Sea Devil story, but a Sea Devil story in space. So it's a nice little twist on that rather than doing the standards Earth colony one.
Yeah, a bit like Poison Seas with Benny to keep it on topic with our top 5.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, we had Old Friends on the top 5 as well, so
Yeah. Yeah.
double on topic with Ninth Doctor here. But I'm
I mean,
much more excited for this box set than I have been for the previous 2 Ninth Doctor box sets.
I've been tempted by the vinyl, you know?
Really?
Yeah, I've been like, now I've seen like the artwork, I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't mind that on vinyl.
Hmm.
So it might be
You
a
just have to wait
vinyl
6 months
pickup.
for it to arrive.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'll probably get it June next year. But yeah, when I first saw this cover, I thought the Autons were in it as well because they look very Auton-y.
I mean, we do have a it's set in a furniture shop, isn't it?
So maybe it's like a little surprise Auton story. I don't know.
But,
It has been the year of Autons so far. The big finish with like River and Auton Infinity. So it wouldn't be surprising if it is.
Again, the middle story seems to be the least exciting one. I mean, I could be wrong. It could end up being my favorite of the set. And I think I'm just trying to check who the writer is of that one.
It is Lisa McMullen, isn't it?
Yeah, there. Yeah, and I mean, she did a wonderful job with Girl Deconstructed for the Ninth Doctor. So hopefully that's a good one. But yeah, certainly compared to the other 2, that feels like the one I'm the least interested in here. The health spa setting.
Yeah, because like I'd say series 2 of the Ninth Doctor stuff so far has had a little trend where the middle story is the dip, or the night. Well, to be fair, the Ninth Doctor stuff, bar I'd say Respond to All Calls and Old Friends, it normally has like a bit of a dip release.
Yeah, it does.
Like Lost Warrior with Hunting Season. I'm just seeing if I can find the individual cover art for it.
Which is the same because often it does drag it down a bit. I don't think they've put it up yet, but it has on the official Doctor Who Twitter. So yeah, we've got like the raw artwork for it, but we don't have the individual covers with the text on it yet.
But yeah, very good, very exciting. And I think Liv and Tanya and Eccleston, very exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear Nicola Walker and Christopher Eccleston just acting off each other because 2 amazing actors there. So I look forward to seeing where that goes. Because I mean, Liv's already met the 7th Doctor, so it's nice that she's sort of bookending her travels with the 8th Doctor, with a Doctor from either side, and also seeing him post Time War. That'll be interesting. It just after Stranded, it just feels so right to have these 3 meet, doesn't it?
Yeah, because they're very domestic. Well, Stranded was a very domestic series. Eccleston's a domestic Doctor.
Yeah, going back to Girl Deconstructed again, there was very much a reference to Stranded in there, which was so bizarre to have the 9th Doctor talking about events that have happened to a Big Finish Doctor. Well, in a Big Finish story to the 8th Doctor. And yet it does feel so right at the same time. And it feels so fitting with him being much more domestic Doctor. And so now this feels like that little tease coming full circle.
But yeah, so good.
And Sea Devils. We love Sea Devils.
Hopefully it'll be better than whatever that story was in April. Please.
Yeah. We've sort of been expecting Big Finish to do Sea Devils for a while as well, haven't we?
Yeah. And it's the first story, so it's like, okay, we don't have to wait like a whole other 2 hours to get to it. So It's
Yeah.
great. So it's sort of like, oh, got to get through these ones to get to see boys. But yeah, very cool.
Just makes you wonder what surprises are in store for the final box set. Hopefully,
It's
a 2-part finale.
2-part Sea Devil story.
Yeah, that'll be it.
I'd be interesting to know what they do. Whether it'll be like Jack Frost is like the big bad.
Yeah, there was certainly a tease, wasn't there?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know where they go. It feels so right having Eccleston with like classic monsters, even though it wasn't like a TV thing. It just like got your action figures together now. It's great.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? I think because he never really met any of them other than the Daleks, it feels like there's so much room to explore more with him with these classic monsters.
And they all feel right for him as well.
Yeah, the choices they've made are brilliant. And I think as well, because this is technically pre-new series, isn't it? It's pre-Rose, so it's almost Wilderness Years territory, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, certainly the present day for it seems to be 2004, based off of Old Friends.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just very curious to know what the spines are going to be for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a Sea Devil, I think. But I don't... Yeah, certainly they've been. Spines have been interesting. Maybe Eccleston sent him a message just to say, "I don't want to be on the spine."
But he needs to be on there because it just annoys me on the shelf going, this is Eccleston. He needs to be there.
Yeah, like it doesn't even have Ninth Doctor Adventures written on there as well. So it's like strip the identity away a bit.
It's just like 2.1, 2.2. You're like, oh, okay.
Well. Whenever I see Sea Devil sign, now think of you too. Thank you, Stylish person.
Good. I take that as a compliment.
You posted that video of you and Mel on Twitter, didn't you?
Yeah.
You were explaining the Sea Devils to her.
Yeah, because it was like a post on Twitter about how like vintage Doctor Who's ruining somebody's relationship, and I was like, I'll put that up there. But
throw yourself under the bus for the sake of comedy.
Bless Mel. She appreciates it, and she she wants to, ideally next year she wants to watch a story for each Doctor. So we'll see if that happens. I don't know.
You got to go one a month, building up to the 60th.
Yeah, if she doesn't like Pertwee, she's dumped. That's it. But yeah.
Yeah, I wonder which Pertwee would be a good one to show her.
I was thinking.
Are you leaning towards Cedar? Yeah, Spearhead's always a good start.
I don't want to, because I was thinking with the parallels of Rose, it'd be nice.
I think also you don't want to go for anything longer than a 4-parter, really.
Oh, I don't know if I could. She was like, "Oh, that's what Cedar was." I was like, "No, you've got to work yourself up for that. I'm not prepared."
Not throwing her in the deep end.
No, I don't want it to go. That's a bit naff, and like the thing I love, just be like crushed. Or like, no,
you need to build up your armor a bit more there.
Yeah, it's like she needs to get used to how it all works, and I don't want it to get like they call that music with a. No, I don't want to submit it to that just yet.
I think you got to sell her on Joe as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
If she likes Joe, she'll be enjoying Sea Devils by the time she gets to that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there we go.
Shall we have a look at the next bit of news?
Yeah, what is the next bit of news? I feel like I'm going to do some
scrolling. There was the Unbound collection.
Yes.
I think that's the first time it's been done for a Doctor Who release, isn't it?
Yeah, because I guess it was to coincide with Doctor of War, Destiny, which you've not picked up because you didn't like the first one.
No, I mean you've only got it because you bundled it.
Yeah. Otherwise, I probably would have skipped it. I was trapped because I was like, it's cheaper to get the bundle. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 18 quid for what, 9 hours of content? Not a bad deal.
I think somebody pointed out it's cheaper to get them singularly downloaded.
Oh dear, is it?
Yeah, so they were like going, "What's the point? We can get it singularly." So I was like, "Oh, okay, that's bad for them." But if you want
No, I
it,
don't
you
think
can
it.
get it. Is it
I don't
not?
think it is cheaper. No,
Oh,
because they're
somebody was
£3 each.
okay.
So that'd be 3 times 8, 24.
Oh, okay, so it is
I mean,
cheap to get this new collection.
yeah. But I think they are on sale quite a lot, and I think they were on sale for £149 or something, weren't they? So
Mm.
maybe, but yeah.
I mean, download wise, I'm only missing Exile and Deadline, but I'm not gonna get the collection just for those two.
No.
And Exile's not getting any more money it deserves.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I've got the 2 David Warner ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the rest, if I ever wanted them, are going to be 18. It's going to come up to 18 quid getting them individually anyway. So I might as well just cherry pick individual ones if I ever want to go back into Unbound.
I mean, that would be a nice little Big Finish fans to do.
Perhaps.
I think that'd be a cool one to do. Do a nice little throwback, maybe.
It would definitely be nice to revisit the 2 David Warner ones. Now that we've reached the end of his journey, go back and see where it all started.
We'd like to do a throw. Should that be our next throwback one?
Yeah, it could be.
I think, yeah. Put that in the diary. We'll add it. We'll add that to the diary.
Yeah.
Speaking of David Warner, Shilling Sixpence in loving memory.
Yeah, this feels like another bittersweet release, doesn't it?
Mm.
I mean, did you get the first one in the end?
I've got the first episode.
Ah, is that a free episode?
Yeah, it was a free episode, and I downloaded it when David Warner passed because I want some new David Warner, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm tempted to pick up both series now. Just to feel sophisticated going. It's not Doctor Who, it's audio drama.
Yeah. It's very much like seems like your Sunday afternoon TV as well, doesn't it?
It's an ITV like crime thing, I feel. It has
Yeah,
like
that Poirot, Agatha
Midsummer Murders type thing.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
But yeah, great.
What's up next?
Blake 7, 0 point. Star Cops is back. That was a bit of a shock. I was like, oh, they're still a thing.
It's an interesting cover.
Yeah, it's very vibrant, isn't it? It pops.
Yeah, very different to the other covers they've done so far.
Yeah,
but here's a cover that we really like.
Yes. And it's the last one to complete the relaunch. So it feels very full circle, this being in this stream. Oh, has Luke disappeared? There he is. He's back now.
Sorry, I clicked off the stream to look at the cover.
Oh,
and then I went to click back on again, and I clicked the X again. Second time this has happened now.
The excitement of it.
But God, what a gorgeous cover.
Yeah. And a new Dalek there. Very nice.
New Supreme, black and gold splendor.
It feels, it has that sort of same excitement you got for like We Are the Daleks.
I also feel like it looks a bit like a Doom Coalition cover to me.
Yeah, having that sort of Gallifreyan, I guess it's Gallifreyan sort of framework.
The rings.
Yeah.
It's like not quite got the symbols in there, but it's very much that style. Or is it just one big symbol?
It's got like symbol there, isn't it? Which looks Time Lordy.
Yeah. It also, we've now got a bit more about what's going on here from the synopsis. And so it seems the Fourth Doctor, when he's done with his travels with Harry and Naomi, ends up dropping them off at the wrong time by mistake, which feels right for the Fourth Doctor, given how things went with Sarah and how he's just never quite able to fly the TARDIS. So that feels quite fitting. And it also feels quite fitting for the Seventh Doctor then to be the one who picks up on that. He's tying up loose ends there, like he was in Remembrance, of course, and many other stories. It's very much his thing, isn't it? And so...
Yeah, because that's the whole premise of Persuasion, where he's tying up loose ends because he doesn't think the man he's going to become can do it, has a stomach for it. So, yeah, maybe McGann was like, I can't face Harry, not again. Gotta go.
Yeah, it'll certainly be an interesting combination hearing these three together. But I feel like I still would have preferred to hear the start of it first.
Yeah,
But
because obviously they're trying to be like clever, going, you don't know the full picture for these, because it's like backwards and forward with these characters. Because you got unit, you got this, and then the final piece of the jigsaw, I guess, is the Fourth Doctor, unless the last unit Nemesis set they're in that. I don't know if that's out.
I mean, they're certainly in the Naomi at least is in the next one, Objective Earth. And also, I feel like this is going to be more than one box set, isn't it? By the looks of it, I could be mistaken there, but I feel like they're going to have a couple of adventures with the Seventh Doctor at least.
Yeah, maybe one more set.
Yeah, but I mean, London Orbital, it feels somewhat Battlefield with elves in London and such. It does feel right for the Seventh Doctor now, having looked into that a bit more. And then Scream of the Daleks, a Halloween story. It just gives me the right vibes, really. I just hope it can deliver enough punch with the Daleks in 2 parts, because certainly Nightmare of the Daleks, from last year's Fifth Doctor release, didn't do much for us in that respect. So hopefully this can do a better job than that.
Even the synopsis feels very similar to Nightmare.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It very much feels like it's trying to do something different with the Daleks, which I'll never begrudge, because it's always important to try new things. It's Lisa McMullen's first time writing the Daleks. But yeah, we'll see if it pays off there. But certainly, I'm a lot more excited for this box set now that we've got the synopsis in this cover.
It's a good. I love the color scheme as well.
It's something we don't get that much of now.
I think it really allows the Daleks to pop.
Yeah, it does. I think it's nice to have them highlighted a bit more here, because is it James Johnson who does?
Yeah,
does some beautiful renders. Done some on the Gallifrey War Room cover as well, didn't he? And on that, they're rather tiny on the cover.
Yeah, and the thing with
so it's nice to see that model highlighted a lot more on this cover.
And the thing with James is he goes the extra mile, and I don't know if I can pick it up, but he even adds like the scuff marks on the Daleks as well. If you like zoom in, you can see like where it's a bit like the paint's chipped off, like the actual prop would be.
Oh wow!
So look at that at your own time, because I don't think it's got to work here, but you can see like by that hemisphere 2 little white dots there where the paint skiff like chipped off. It's all great.
Did he also do the models for Dalek Universe as well?
I think that
like
was
the Supreme on the Dalek Defense. Was that Anthony Lamb?
I think that's Anthony Lamb.
Who
did those? But yeah, great cover.
Great stuff. And now that's the relaunch cover's completed. We have a whole look at them all.
You've come full circle.
It is weird when you look at them all together.
Is it?
And see like the if you go on the bundle.
Let's have a look. This is where it's going to take me a while to do it. But I'll do it. Bear with. Save money with a bundle. Right, here we go. Choose bundle.
Just got to go for the 14 one.
There we go. Come laptop work.
Next up, we should hopefully be getting details for next year soon.
Yeah, that's surprising, isn't it? We're nearly a year through.
Yeah, I mean, in I think we should be getting Vortex soon for October as well, and that should feature like in the coming soon section. It should list what's coming out in January. And I know with I think it was the August one, we had like what was it, Soho and
Geronimo?
11th Doctor Chronicles Geronimo listed before they were even announced. So I wonder if we could have a sneaky peek at what's yet to be announced there. Because January's looking pretty bare at the moment. It's just the Dead Star, River Song, and an Untitled Tortured release scheduled for now. But yeah, anyway, these covers.
First Doctor maybe there.
Yeah, First Doctor got pushed back to February.
Okay.
So I don't know if anything
very
else will
nice.
be rejigged. Yeah. It's funny seeing how the logo's mostly the same on all of them, but then suddenly for the first of the 6th and 7th Doctor Adventures, it's moved up one. And yet those came out in the middle of the year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's odd. Yeah, and suddenly when you look at some artists' original artwork, like even for Sullivan and Cross, the raw artwork for that, it very much looks like the logo was intended to go at the top. I prefer the logo at the bottom now, though.
Yeah, I think it's more cleaner.
Yeah, it just gives it a crisper look, doesn't it? Yeah, we like our consistency, but
you don't get it with Big Finish, sadly.
No.
Oh. Yeah, do
I
you
mean,
have
that weird.
Oh, go on.
You've got the weird full cast audio sticker on Solo there, which isn't now on the physical release, but it is there for the physical release of the Annihilators. And then it's bizarre.
Hey, it's fine.
Yeah, just a minor niggle.
It's not minor, it's a big thing for us.
Yeah. We have to pretend it's minor, otherwise we will go insane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. That's the first year of relaunch. All the covers in one go.
Look forward to putting all those on a tier list, along with everything else we've listed to. And then question how much money we've spent so far. That much money for me.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, damn.
And yeah, well, I mean, for you in a way, it's double that because you've already got the bundle for next year.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get on that before prices go up in November.
Prices up.
Yeah.
So our last bit of news. The Volprene are coming.
Yeah. Axos is back out again because we haven't done that enough times already.
No, this is our third time's a charm, you know? Oh.
I don't mind it as a cover.
Yeah, I like the colour scheme. I think it works with like the Axons. That's great. Do we know who's voicing the Axons? Is it John Leeson?
Yeah, they've announced. It's not John Leeson. It's someone. Here he is, Richard Golding.
Very fitting then, Golding.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what they've cast him. Like, with a name like that, got to be an Axon.
It's interesting how they're taking the master twist from Claws of Axos, where he's forced to work with the Brigadier unit for a bit, and applying that to the 11. I mean, I did finish the first unit, Nemesis, I think the other week, and so yeah, I can now get on to the second. But I don't.
Oh, you did pick up the second.
Yeah, I did pick up the second in the end. I still haven't listened to it, but yeah, I think unless it really wows me, I can't stop picking this one up because sacrifices have to be made, don't they? Big Finish is getting expensive.
For sure.
Yeah, I think Unit Nemesis is something I can afford to put on the chopping block.
I've got it. So
yeah,
I'm in it. I bundled because like if Tom's in it, then I'm probably gonna need to get it.
And he's only in that one story so far.
It'll be Colin in the fourth one, won't it? Just like Stranded 4.
Yeah. Oh, one interesting thing to note actually.
Okay.
This sort of ties back to 7th Doctor, but in that article, it mentions how the 7th Doctor is. Here it is. So, but as they join the Doctor, a different version to any they've met before. Harry and Naomi are in for a few perilous stops along the way. So, but yeah, different version to any they've met before, which sort of implies more than just the 4th Doctor. To me.
Okay.
And we know that this Unit Nemesis is the middle piece of that story. So presumably going to be dropped off by the Fourth Doctor in modern day at the end of that arc, and then picked up by the Seventh at the start of this. So could maybe Jacob Dudman turn up as the 11th Doctor in Unit Nemesis 4 and run into Harry and Naomi?
Or David Tennant?
Yeah.
Because we know he was recording another project, but he never finished.
Yeah, maybe that could be classic Companions 2.
Yeah,
because it does have a 1 on the spine. Maybe that's where he runs into Harry and Naomi. It'd be interesting to see what hints they give, if any, or if it's just like a misreading on my part.
I mean, I know David Tennant's doing a play October, and last time we did a play, he recorded Volume 2 of 10th Doctor Adventures. So maybe he can squeeze in a few more recordings.
I think at least finish what he started, whatever that happens to be. Because
I'm
you
sure
imagine
they've
for that as well, he'd be contracted to it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, hello, Tom Mason. Welcome to chat.
Hello. But yeah, that's been the news.
Yeah. Ooh, Kaleidoscope trailer.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Kaleidoscope. What did you think?
It was all right. Didn't do too much for me, but I'm still excited for the release because of the Third Doctor Adventure track record. What about you?
So. It had sort of a bit pirate radio-y, like Wave of Destruction with like Kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
Kind of give me that pirate radio station. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's hard to tell like quite what the story's going for just yet. Yeah, so it certainly seems to have ambition, I think, which is good for a 6-parter.
Normally, with like the trailer, the worse the trailer is, the better the story. So I'm hoping it will deliver. But so far,
certainly the Annihilators trailer threw us as well, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't get a flavour of what Kaleidoscope's about at the minute.
Yeah, I think I'm expecting a few surprises of sorts in there. Not necessarily the same kind as 42 gave us, but yeah. So I just want some cozy Planet of the Spiders vibes of the Brigadier, Sarah, and the Third Doctor chilling in the unit HQ.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like we might be getting that with them, like watching a Kaleidoscope interview on TV and such.
Maybe, yeah, that would fit with like Damon's.
Yeah, that sort of style of story. Tom Mason asks, do you plan on getting any Doctor Who tattoos?
No.
So,
I don't plan on getting. I don't plan on
no,
getting
I don't either, to be honest. How about you, Tom? Is that something that is interesting to you?
Because... I mean, this might be a hot take, but I kind of find it cringe. You know, when they get him on like Graham Norton going, look at that idiot. He's got Matt Smith's face on his shin. You know, like, oh, I feel sorry for that. He's being named and shamed. Like, I don't know. Tattoos just don't appeal to me.
I expect maybe if it's something more like a TARDIS or something. I mean, I wouldn't anyway, but I think it's more cringe when it's an actor's face.
Yeah.
I mean, if you end up with enough chest hair one day, maybe you can like shave Pertwee's face into it, because then it's not permanent.
I'm sure Mel would love that.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Be more of a turn on for you in the mirror.
Well, yeah. Across the void, beyond the bed. Oh, there we go. Would you two mind if I condensed these streams into highlight reel for each stream and upload them, but still correct? Yeah, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Go for it. It'd be interesting to know.
I suppose Pertwee chest hair will be a
highlight. There we go. That can be like a little trailer. That can be on a little YouTube short.
There you go.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose free promotion for us. So thank you, Stylish Person. If that's something you enjoy doing, then go for it.
And you know, we appreciate all of you being here, taking your time out of your day to just sit and watch and comment and lurk. We appreciate you all. because we're all about building community here.
What aside from Tom Baker would make you buy non-releases? So non-Doctor Who, I'm assuming. You mean their stylish person?
I bought a couple what don't have Tom Baker in.
Yeah. I mean, I've got some Blake 7 before. I think at this point, it's more just they're putting out so much Doctor Who content. I've got to draw the line, really, and just say, nope, my wallet can't take much more. You know, I can barely afford what I do get from Big Finish. I don't want to go down another rabbit hole, is often our way of thinking, isn't it?
See, my rabbit hole I would like to go down is like Sherlock, especially Sherlock Holmes stuff, because I picked up the Tangled Skein, which I adore. I was tempted to get the recent Sherlock Holmes boxes because they were on sale.
Seamstress of Peckham Ryan, Fiends of
New York,
New York City,
New Jersey, because they were getting good reviews and they won some awards. So you're like, oh, they're really good. But yeah, that's a rabbit hole I'd like to go down. But like we say, there's enough going on. But yeah, I think I probably will go down the shilling and sixpence thing.
I think, to be fair, you know now that is only going to be 2 box sets, at least with David Warner. So that's all you really want.
That's all. I think anything David Warner, I'm in because I'm quite intrigued by like the Scarifiers as well, and like Sapphire and Steel.
Him and Nick Courtney, isn't it?
Yeah, and Terry Malloy. So I feel like that'd be quite interesting to get. And what other things I've been looking at?
I suppose they're a bit cheaper as well because there are older stuff. I mean, not Sapphire and Steel because that you have to go to the secondary market for.
Sapphire and Steel interest me, and I hope that they can get like the digital license or something. So, because I'd like to try them out.
Put them in a collection together again.
Yeah, that's what I'd like.
Certainly, Robin Hood, that was a surprise, wasn't it, when that came back? Because that seemed like a lost cause. So hopefully Sapphire still can have the same because it's not been rebooted at all. So, and I mean, Stargate, that's another one that's come back. So Big Finish are getting those licenses back. So I think Sapphire and Steel would be fitting.
And it'd be a nice.
Have you watched much of the original series?
No.
It's good stuff.
Not at all.
It's been a long time since I've checked that out, though.
I was thinking David Warner signed me out.
Fair enough.
Because I bought the Benny story with him as Minecraft host. I was like, it's the next Unbound I'm gonna get, so I'll take it.
Yeah, there you go. Bet.
Oh.
Have you heard Atta Girls and Time Slip by Big Finish? No, I mean, I'm pretty sure I speak for you as well when I say you haven't.
You'd be wrong.
Oh.
No, I haven't. Oh, no, I haven't at all. No. But I heard good things about Atta Girl. Time Slip's just kind of I think Time Slip happened at the wrong time, to be honest.
It slipped a bit.
It come out like just for start of lockdown, so it's like people aren't gonna go for it.
Yeah, it's an odd one, that, isn't it? It's one of those experiments Big Finish seem to do every once in a while, where they like make a big deal about this show returning, like this cult classic coming to Big Finish, and then it just sort of disappears again after it, and you don't get any more.
Yeah, I guess it's a bit like Dark Season.
Yeah, although with that was just a one-off audio book, wasn't it?
I mean, they tried to go. It's by Russell. You should check it out.
Yeah, I mean that was Sean Longmore's first cover.
I mean, good cover.
Yeah.
Even though I've never seen Dark Season, but I can appreciate a good bit of artwork.
I think that was sort of around the time of Mind and Hodiak hype as well, wasn't it? Because we were all
yes.
big on Russell. It wasn't that long since he'd been announced as returning as showrunner either. What is your favourite non-Doctor Who Big Finish range that is based off a British TV show or Big Finish original? So yeah, non-Worlds of Doctor Who as well there.
Ooh.
I do quite like Blake 7 from what I have of that. That's probably the one I've got the most of as well. So it's the only one I can really say for sure. I mean, I got the whole of Crossfire, which is like a 12-part series. That was good stuff.
For me, I can't really say. So I only got the I guess it have to be like the Sherlock Holmes stuff, but I feel like I can't say for sure. But I got like Invisible Man and like King Lear, but they're not really a TV show. They're books and plays.
Yeah, that's like Big Finish classics, isn't it? That kind
Yeah,
of
that's like if you want to feel
Jekyll and
pretentious. Yeah.
Hyde.
Like, yes, I am sophisticated.
I did get Omega Factor Series 1 as well.
Okay.
That was one that everyone was raving about at the time, wasn't it? Particularly the second episode. I think, did Terry Malloy write that one?
I don't know.
I'm going to have a check. I swear. Oh, no, I think it was written by a writer new to Big Finish at the time, but they went on to do quite a few more after that. And it had Terry Malloy in it as like a cult leader. That's what I'm thinking of him.
Survivors was a big what I was tempted by.
Loads of people got that, didn't they, when that
Um,
came out?
that
it
got
went
really
on for
good
11.
reviews. Yeah, no, you're like, don't want to commit to that.
Yeah, glad I didn't go down that rabbit hole. Here it is, Omega Factor. Series 1. Phil Mulrine was the writer of the second episode. That was the one that was getting the most rave reviews. What else has Phil Mulrine wrote recently? Oh, he's got Fourth Doctor Adventures coming out next year. The one with... oh, yeah, so not wrote recently because that would have been recorded ages ago. But that's the one with Anjali Mahendran.
Okay.
Yeah. He wrote for War Doctor Begins Battlegrounds and The Robots 5.
So he's still about.
He's still kicking around. First Doctor Adventures Volume 5 before that. Not as a writer though. Is he an actor in this? Yeah, he's an actor as well.
Okay.
There we have it. Oh, he wrote Planet of the Trashigs.
That's a good one. I like that one.
See, it's not a regular contributor, but still consistently contributes every once in a while. Daniel Hager, the third Doctor fan, says, I recommend Jerry Anderson Thunderbirds from Big Finish. Out of all of them, that is what tempts me the most, I will admit.
Yeah.
I mean, they've just released 2 full cast ones today, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. I mean, I like Thunderbirds. Can't say I've watched it in a long time. But you saw Tracy Island.
I think that would have been wonderful to have as like a child.
Yeah.
Have your Tracy Island and everything, have all your toys, and then listen to an audio drama. I just act it out.
Sophisticated.
Too old for it now. But...
What do you mean you're too old for it, Luke? You still do it now, don't you?
I mean, you got to at least record it as a stop motion or something.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's a throwback to like 10 years ago when everyone did stop motion. Yeah.
Right. Have you picked up the release today, Daniel?
Yeah, if you have, let us know.
Yeah, I think Thunderbirds versus the Hood. It's adaptations of some of the old comic strips. I mean, John Coleshaw, again, recast as both Jeff Tracy and Parker.
Oh, damn. He
sounds pretty good in the trailers as well.
Okay.
The master of many voices, isn't he? Literally, in some ways.
Yes. Yeah. Good. I like that.
But I'm just wondering if there was any older Daniel also says my favourite Big Finish covers are the Jerry Anderson Thunderbirds one.
I'm sensing a theme.
Yes, I did, and it is so good. That's good to hear.
Glad you enjoy them.
Yeah, Tom Mason says, I want to buy Adam Adamant from Big Finish as I love the TV show and the trailers look amazing. That's another one similar to Time Slip where I think they came out of it and then it just seemed to drop off like a stone.
Yeah, I guess a bit like Callan as well.
Yeah, I think that's got Nick Briggs's what's push behind it though, hasn't it? It's got his passion there to keep it going a bit longer.
Yeah, I guess so.
Similar to Prisoner. But, I mean, Adam Adamant, that's not had a box set since 2020. That sort of feels like rip-off Avengers. I want to not rip-off, but you know, it's very much in that same style as Avengers.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So I've just probably insulted a load of Adam Adamant fans. I'm sorry.
All one person. Don't know.
Callan, when was the last Callan?
I feel like that's like 20...
September 2020. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I could see Nick Briggs pushing for that one to get another one.
I can see probably one more.
Yeah.
Maybe. Don't know.
When did the first one come out? I think also it's got Ben Miles and Frank Skinner in, so maybe they're just a bit busy as well. I suppose he's mentioned somewhere that more Callan is coming. I mean, I think that's quite a dark series, isn't it?
I see. From what I see of Callan, I feel like is it like the Sweeney and like Professionals and Minder? Is it like a bit like that type of thing? I don't know. Because I doubt they'll do the Sweeney or anything like that on Big Finish. Unless they do like a revitalization of it, I don't know. Because a lot of people like want Red Dwarf, which would be quite interesting to see if Big Finish ever tackle it.
Yeah, I think so. Comedy as well on audio would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine how that'll work. I'm sure there's a way, and I'm sure it's doable.
Is that one of those? Because I think often with comedies, you do get like it's more the child of one writer. Like Only Fools and Horses is very much John Sullivan's baby. Like he wrote every single one. You can't really imagine anyone else writing for it, so it sort of died with him. Does Red Dwarf have that same?
I think so. I don't know. I mean, I like Red Dwarf, but I wouldn't say I know everything about it, so I don't know.
Let's have a quick look. It might be created by Rob Grant and Doug Naylor. I mean, did they write every?
Because I don't know if like they wrote some of the Dave stuff.
Certainly, they wrote everything up to. Here we go. So yeah, Rob Grant and Doug Naylor wrote everything up to series 4.
Okay.
Oh no, series 6. Sorry. Then series 7. Doug Naylor's writing it on his own for the most part.
Okay.
And then you've also got occasional like guest writers writing it alongside him. And it's just Doug Naylor most. So it all seems to be Doug Naylor really, with the occasional guest writer. I wonder if something happened between him and Rob Grant, maybe. Who knows? Like we say, we're not experts. Cursory glance. There's people who are much more invested and know much more about this than we do. But yeah, certainly if Big Finish was to get that, it would be interesting, like how they would feel about that. I mean, when was the last one done? 2019, so it's still fairly recent, really, isn't it?
Yeah, not too long ago.
Joe Bowers says, "Hi guys, have you heard that Big Finish asked Timothy Dalton to return as Rassilon for the Gallifrey audios, but declined, which is a shame."
I didn't know that. No.
That's a bit makes sense for them to have reached out. Can't say it's too surprising that he turned it down.
I mean, I feel like if he did, it'd definitely sell. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
I'd definitely slap a pre-order on it.
I mean, did he? He's doing. Sorry, is he? Oh, he's in Doom Patrol, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
DC TV show. Because there's also Pierce Brosnan in Black Adam, the DC movie. That's what I was wondering. I know there was 2 James Bonds, and I know they were both doing a different thing with DC, but I couldn't remember which way around it was. Yeah, that's one of the things that he's up to at the moment. Or I don't know, he might have left that show now, actually. Who knows? Maybe he'll return.
I know nothing. I know nothing.
No.
Of these things.
I mean, I haven't really watched them, to be honest. But yeah. I mean, Black Adam's not even out yet. But yeah, maybe he'll be returning in the 60th.
Maybe that's why he's like, no, Russell's asked me back to be the Celestial Toy Maker. I don't
know. I also met Terry Malloy at an event last week, and he let slip that he was recording a Big Finish with Sylvester McCoy this week.
Ooh. Getting all the juicy news.
Yeah. You wait so long for a well, actually, to be fair, it might not be a Davros story. But I was going to say you wait so long for a 7th Doctor Dalek story after we had a Daleks. Now 2 seem to be coming along quite quick succession.
They might actually finish the cliffhanger from Daleks Among Us.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing that wouldn't be with, if it is Davros, that won't be with Harry and Naomi. Maybe Ace. That'd be decent. Yeah. We've been getting a fair bit of Ace recently, but not with the 7th Doctor. I would like to return to that because I liked them in what was it? Grey Man of the Mountain. That was a highlight of 2020.
Lovely. Yeah,
and also the story, the 7th Doctor one before that, Flying Dutchman and Displaced. Less so Flying Dutchman by far, but Displaced, that was a very good one. So yeah, I think we sort of went through our phase of being tired of Ace, didn't we? Because she was sending us so much 7th Doctor stuff.
Yeah.
But I think now, time has passed. We've not had much Sylvester McCoy anyway. It feels right to reunite the two.
Well, they might be reunited in a couple weeks' time on screen,
Yeah, you never know.
Because, seeing that photo of like McCoy in costume and Sophie in the jacket, like,
they still got it.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, okay, I'm here for it. And there are rumors that they are in it alongside Fraser Hines.
No.
Might be in it too. Don't know.
Interesting to see. I feel like, when you look at him on the collection trailers as well, like the season 24 one, he's aged, definitely. But he's a Doctor that's still got that same physicality. He cuts that same silhouette, doesn't he? In the nicest way possible to
Are you acting? No, I think Davison can get away still.
I'm not sure about now.
Whack the hat on it. It's fine.
I think I saw someone compare him to the first Doctor more so when he did that picture where it's like he was going up to that queue of David Tennant fans saying he's not that special. Oh, brilliant stuff.
Oh, I love Davison. What a man.
Maybe we'll get another 5-ish Doctors special. That'll be for next year.
Yeah, hopefully.
It's all down to whether Peter come up with an idea for it, isn't it, really?
I'm sure he's got some idea. He has to. He's had 10 years to figure it out.
Mull it over.
Oh, that's scary to think. That's like nearly 10 years since the 50. Oh.
Yeah, we're getting too old.
Yeah, it's horrible. Because just the buzz of that's a stream in itself. Talking about the 50th. Or something else entirely, I should say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, certainly we will have a special announcement coming up. Is it next week? I think we're going to announce. Or
next
next weekend.
next weekend we are going to be announcing a project we've been working on since last December, and it will be this year's December project. 24 days of us blabbering on. So if you like us, you've got 24 days and probably streams as well.
Yeah, I think certainly streams are not going to stop because this is all pre-recorded stuff that we've been working on and we'll get out at some point.
And it'd be nice to get it out because we've been teasing it for so long.
Yeah, we have sort of been teasing it for a while.
And it's like, I don't want to let it slip, but there's moments where you mention, I kind of want to say, because it's great.
Yeah, it'd be nice to finally get it out, yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's the right time to announce it as well. I'll say no more there, but yeah.
The day it's announced is very fitting. That's it, yeah. Oh, it's exciting.
So I think, should we leave them on that?
Yeah, we'll leave them on that.
Thank you, everyone who has tuned in, listened to us rant on about Big Finish. We appreciate each and every one of you for listening to our shitty opinions.
Yeah, I guess somebody has to.
We just put our thoughts out there into the world, really. And it's just nice to have an audience who appreciate us and listen back on that.
Yeah, and we appreciate you all, lurkers and all. Yeah, I guess the only thing left to do is, if you haven't already, and if you've enjoyed the stream, like, subscribe, do all that lovely stuff, because we want to build more people and have more questions and have more shenanigans, because the streams aren't stopping, but they are stopping next week. But we'll be back for, I think, is it a Bernie Summerfield one we're doing?
Yeah, that'll probably be up next.
Or maybe we'll do the throwback one. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We've got a couple more planned. But yeah, if you are watching this back later on, please feel free to leave your own top fives down in the comments below.
Yes, very nice to hear.
Interesting to have a read.
And we're off to record some more things for you to check out next weekend. So happy days. Yeah, thank you for everyone, and we'll see you very soon.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.